Good evening, everybody. Once again, this is a UFC 145 post-fight recap with Standing Bear Thunderheart. And tonight, man, this event took place in Atlanta, Georgia. And wow, even though a lot of these fights went to distance, many of those fights were not boring. They were action-packed, excellent fights. And of course, the main event was excellent as well. And I'll get to that as we go along. So here we go. Now, these first two fights I didn't get a chance to see because they were on YouTube, not YouTube, but Facebook. But we got a chance to get it anyway. So, Marcus Brimage versus Maximo Blanco, and the winner is Marcus Brimage via split decision, and Keith Wisiewski versus Chris Clements, and the winner is Chris Clements via split decision, and the next one is Danzig versus Efrain Escudero. And the winner is Danzig in unanimous decision. I mean, this was an excellent fight overall. I mean, these two really went at it. I mean, even starting in the first round, I mean, Danzig tried to take him down, and instead, Escudero reversed it and tried to actually attempt to do a foot lock, ankle lock submission hold, and try to have him submit. But Danzig, of course, had the instinct to turn it and actually escaped it and quickly got into behind him for attempted near rear naked choke. But of course, Efrain escaped that as well. So, I mean, this was a back and forth battle, and there were times when Danzig was able to take him down and actually had him controlled on the ground. But Efrain kept escaping and was able to still give him a great fight. But in the very end, Danzig did just a little bit more than Efrain. So, congratulations, Danzig, on your unanimous decision victory. And Makdessi versus Anthony Njokuani. And the winner is Anthony Njokuani, unanimous decision. I mean, this was definitely a kickboxing match, to say the least. I mean, basically, Anthony Njokuani, since he was taller than Makdessi, he was actually able to reach out more and actually with some solid strikes, solid leg kicks, and various other types of strikes. Whether Makdessi was trying to, do a lot of, side kicks. He didn't do a lot of leg kicks. I think it would have been better for him to set it up with leg kicks so he could actually do other kicks better, because he was just throwing like spin hook kicks widely, even spin side kicks and various things like that. Not that I'm saying he didn't connect with some of them, but he could have done more effective damage if he would have kicked the legs, and as well as trying to do other techniques and so forth. But in the very end, throughout all the three rounds, Njokuani had him, like I said, kicked him in the head and various things like that. He just did more because of his reach, and he did a lot of combinations and indeed to set up all these different techniques that he did. So congratulations, Anthony Njokuani. And this one right there was definitely different from the last match I just mentioned. This one is Browne versus Stephen Thompson. And the winner is Browne, unanimous decision. I mean, let's just say it like this. I mean, Stephen Thompson's a great, karate fighter and everything, but he's never really worked his ground game. So, I mean, when it comes to stand-up striking, yeah, Stephen Thompson was a little bit better. But each time, in all three rounds, Browne was able to take him down. Excuse me. Browne was able to take him down and start grinding upon him with elbow strikes and punches, and and of course the guy Stephen Thompson was squirming, like trying to hang on for dear life. But at the same time though, when the second round started happening though, Browne was starting to gas out, and so was Stephen Thompson. But Stephen Thompson still kept it going as far as when he came to striking, and he was starting really beating on Browne. He was taking some punches and things like that. But Browne's saving grace was once he took him to the ground, he was able to do his thing, do his damage, and that's what made a difference. So, and then that happened all three rounds, and so at the very end, Browne was able to, like I said, keep him under control on the ground and just grounding and pounding him. The only submission attempt that I've seen him did was, of course, he did a triangle, with side triangle actually with his legs, and then of course Stephen had his hands up, so he just kept elbowing him and punching him, and that's what actually kept him alive, and especially when he had him in the crucifix and various things like that. But when he had him in that position, it just went to the time limit, and so Matt Browne is the winner for unanimous decision. So congratulations once again. And the next bout is, well, what an excellent heavyweight fight that was. Travis Browne, undefeated Travis Browne versus Chad Griggs from Strikeforce. And the winner is Travis Browne via submission. I mean, let's just be honest. I mean, this was a great fight from the start. They started swinging and throwing punches at the get-go. And, I mean, they were, like, you know, just really measuring each other. And it was a fast-paced match. But what the very beginning and the end was when Travis Browne did an excellent, and we're talking about double jump, not necessarily a double jump front kick, but it was more of a double jump knee strike. He used his knees rather than really extending his leg. He just used his knees, and so rather than double jump front kick, he did a double knee strike to the guy's jaw right there. Boom, hit him. So he dazed him and actually clinched him and started doing some Muay Thai knees to the head, a few of them. And then after he let it go, he did some combinations and hit him and punched him, knocked him straight down, and he started hitting him and hitting him in, and then he went to the side control, and it actually then went to a side arm triangle choke. And he had him squeezed so much and so hard that, of course, Chad Griggs thought he was going to punch his way and tried to kick his way out of it, but it was like a fish out of water, basically. And so in that retrospect, of course, the guy had no choice but to tap the ground like this, and he was gone. He was out. So Travis Browne, excellent submission victory right there. I mean, that was one of the best victories of submissions that I've seen in a long time. I know I tend to say that a lot, but that usually is the truth. So congratulations, Travis Browne, and still undefeated in the octagon. All right. And the next bout is Mark Bocek versus John Alessio, and the winner is Mark Bocek, unanimous decision. I mean, basically, it was basically the same thing as Matt Browne, except that John Alessio had a little more fight in him as far as able to escape, you know, take that, well, not just escape takedowns, but escape, you know, grounds and pounds after long periods of time. But Mark Bocek, I mean, you know, when you have two Canadians going at it, it's usually, you know, something spectacular, to say the least. But, I mean, of course, you know, John Alessio had some good strikes on him towards Mark Bocek, and Mark Bocek struck back. But, of course, once again, just like Matt Browne, one of the key things that Mark Bocek had an advantage was that his ground game was better than John Alessio's. He was able to ground and pound at him, and there were various things like that throughout 3 rounds. But John Alessio was able to also escape, too, and was able to strike and various other things like that. So he was able to at least did better than Stephen Thompson did with Matt Browne. At least he was able to escape some things, some takedowns and certain things like that. But in the very end, Mark Bocek did more. So congratulations on the unanimous decision on that. And the next bout is Mark Hominick versus Eddie Yagin. And the winner, and via split decision, is Eddie Yagin. And the reason how he won that was, well, let me put it like this. I mean, it just first got started. He started explosive with kicks to the legs and punches in the first round, to such a degree that he was actually able to knock Mark Hominick down, and he started beating him down, that he actually got him some cuts and to his eyes and busting him up in various places. So he had a head start on that, on a beatdown with Mark Hominick. But as time went along, though, he was still fighting and he was still being effective. But he was also wasting his energy with wild punches and wild spin kicks, spinning back fists, and things like that. Eddie Yagin wasted too much energy with missed strikes, and Mark Hominick was starting to get some, but he was getting beat up and so forth. But at the same time, though, Mark Hominick was taller and he had this great reach that he was able to hit Eddie Yagin throughout the second round and also the third round. But Eddie Yagin, of course, in the second round, knocked him down again and kept pounding on him, but he didn't stay on the ground pounding. He just kind of like went the distance and let him get up. So it was a great striking battle overall. But it just, I mean, the only saving grace that really got the split decision was when Mark Hominick was actually able to just throw some reaches, and Eddie Yagin just kept taking it, but he just kept on coming at him as well, too. So, but overall, though, the judges saw Eddie Yagin did just a little bit more, so congratulations on that split decision victory. And the next one is Miguel Torres versus Michael McDonald. And the winner is Michael McDonald via a knockout in the first round. I mean, this did not take long at all, really. I mean, you know, they tried to measure each other and so forth, and to be honest with you, Miguel Torres did not have much luck really striking him effectively, and Michael McDonald had some very good strikes on him to a certain degree that when they were throwing wild punches and so forth, Michael McDonald was actually able to throw a nice uppercut, hit him, and actually able to hit him some more, and then knocked him down, and that's when he was actually able to really hit him so hard that's when the referee told him stop, enough, and awarded him an excellent knockout victory. An excellent victory for a 20-year-old UFC fighter. So great job on that victory. And this kid's going places. I can tell you that right now. I can just see it already. He's going places. So watch out, everybody. Watch out for this guy right here. And the next one is Brandon Schaub versus Beth Rothwell. And the winner is Beth Rothwell via a TKO, actually. It was a VA TKO. And basically, this fight didn't take long either. Just like the Miguel Torres versus Michael McDonald fight, the same thing happened there. Except that, of course, Brandon Schaub started off, really good with some good strikes and different things like that. But as soon as they started, throwing wild punches towards each other, Ben Rothwell was actually able to, he got lucky enough to actually hit him a couple times. But what he was able to actually really do was actually catch him with a nice hook to the side of the jaw, right to his jaw, right to the right. And so, of course, Brandon Schaub went down just in a heap. And then Brandon Rothwell just went at it and started hitting him. But he didn't necessarily hit him in the face. He was actually hitting him in the throat. So, oh my goodness. I mean, I'm sure that Brandon Schaub is not talking well right now, to say the least. And the referee stopped the fight and awarded him TKO victory. And so this is probably a good win in a long time that Beth Rothwell actually had. So congratulations, Ben, on that victory. And he looked awesome tonight. It was a total 180 from the last time I saw him when he fought against Mark Hunt. And when both of them were gassing out and everything. So Beth Rothwell really made an improvement, at least tonight anyway, in his victory. And in the co-main event, Rory McDonald versus Che Mills. And the winner is Rory McDonald via TKO. I mean, this basically went actually to the second round. I mean, actually 2 rounds, to be honest. But to be honest with you, Rory McDonald just really dominated the first round, not only through effective striking, but also when he took him down, he really grounded and pounded him, having the crucifix positions and throwing nice elbows and things like that. And, of course, Che Mills weathered the storm in the first round, but he couldn't do it in the second round because, let me tell you, the same thing happened when Rory McDonald went to the ground with him. He just grounded and pounded him to such a degree that when he actually got him in his back, he just kept pounding him, and the guy just kept covering up. He wasn't defending himself intelligently. And so the referee stopped the fight and rewarded Rory McDonald TKO victory. So congratulations, Rory McDonald. Oh, my God. This guy... awesome fighter. This guy is also going to go places, and I see him as a future champion somewhere down the road too. Don't know when exactly, but this kid's going to be a champion one day. I can tell you that right now. So just watch out for that, folks. Watch out for that. And speaking of championship, in the main event, the UFC Light Heavyweight Championship match with John Bones Jones as a champion versus Rashad Evans as a challenger. And winner, and still UFC Light Heavyweight Champion John Bones Jones. And basically, it was, let's just put it this way, since these two were teammates, I had an idea that this was going to be John Jones' greatest challenge up to date because, let's face it, Rashad Evans and him were once teammates. They split up, and actually Rashad Evans left Greg Jackson's camp while John Bones Jones was still there. So there was a lot of, animosity, a lot of jealousy, and all this back and forth, trash talking that went on with these two. But when it all came down to it, Rashad Evans thought he was going to get in there and do it. But John Bones, first of all, not only was he stronger than Rashad Evans, of course he had a reach advantage. But then again, look, if it was to someone else that was tall as John Bones Jones, would that really make a difference against Rashad Evans? Probably not. But this John Bones Jones we're talking about here. I mean, this guy knows how to use his reach. He knows how to use techniques. I mean, this guy, he's just phenomenal. And so in all 5 rounds, I mean, even though Rashad Evans was able to punch him or hit him a couple times and actually countered some of his techniques and so forth, where it all boils down to it, John Bones just did everything right. I mean, he dominated him. He rocked his confidence. Rashad Evans did not look confident anymore. He had his confidence. All 5 rounds. And to be honest with you, some people even said that he probably should have finished him, and maybe so, because he had him in a chokehold. Maybe he should have had him finish there. But needless to say, man, he toyed with him. He toyed with Rashad Evans. Rashad Evans didn't really have an answer for a lot of things. He may have had a counter, but he didn't have an answer to how to really beat him. And in all 5 rounds, he dominated him. I mean, there was just no way it could have been any other decision other than unanimous. So congratulations, John Bones Jones, and he's still the champion, and he's still the best light heavyweight in the world right now. I mean, even though sure he didn't necessarily finish Rashad, but then again, did he need it to? I mean, he dominated Rashad anyway. I mean, he played with Rashad Evans. I mean, and there's not too many people that can do that. So what is next for John Bones Jones? Only time will tell at this point. But I'm telling you right now, this John Bones Jones is still a young man, and he is still kicking ass in ways that you haven't seen in a long time. And I mean, the fact that he has beaten a lot of badasses already, he's going to be more. I mean, obviously they're going to have to bring so many fighters from different organizations, and they want to have him have some challengers, because right now UFC, they're running out of people that he's fighting with. They're going to have to bring people from Strikeforce, whatever the case may be, trying to beat this guy. Wow, I mean, this was a great night overall. I mean, with John Bones Jones still the champion and looking great, looked like he barely even had a scratch. I mean, that's just the thing about this kid. Celebrating with his family and everything like that. I mean, this overall was one of the exciting events. 145 UFC. And, like I said, with upsets and different things like that, I mean, anything can happen. That just tonight really shows you, because some people thought that certain people were going to win, and certain people did not win. So, like I said, anything can happen. This is MMA. So, here we go. And that's about it, really. I mean, it was nice to see T.I. over there, and Roy Jones Jr. and among other celebs that were in the audience. So, in any event, I'm going to wrap this up. I'm going to say good night. This was a great event overall. And I just want to let y'all know that even though this is a weekend and it's all good and have to go out and have fun, please go out and have fun, but also do so with responsibility and moderation. Make sure we're considerate to others and not to be driving home drunk and various things like that. Not just for ourselves, but for other people out there. So, in any event, I'm Sandy Bear Thunderheart, and I'm going to get going. So good night, everybody, and be safe. Healing. It is all that is.